How's it going? We are going live. Slight delay to get started here today, but we are here. We're live on YouTube, live on Instagram. We're good to go. How's everybody doing? I hope you are well. We've got, let's go ahead and just pull this over for tonight's live stream. So last night we talked about the ideas behind body image and why that's important. Some of the downfalls or some of the challenges related to, let's see, we'll go ahead and change that. This will be for numbers on the scale. We may have some articles in the description, we may not. Stay tuned. But last night was body image. I shared with you a couple articles that we used to research what we were talking about last night. Ran completely out of time, and I think what I'll do is maybe do a series in the future related to body image, maybe even give you guys some more practicality behind it, share my story, those kinds of things, give some application to it overall. Today we're going to talk about the number on the scale, and tomorrow what we're going to do is actually get into the application of both of those things when it comes to your actual body weight, and why the number on the scale, which we'll talk about today, as well as BMI, in my opinion, is absolutely bogus, and why I rarely, if ever, use BMI and only use the number on the scale specifically for tracking certain things. There are things that I find to be more important. So what's up? If you don't know who I am, and this is the first video that you're seeing of me, I'm Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. It is not only my purpose as far as a business, but I find this to be my vocation. And I might even suggest I'm starting to find maybe even my ministry as far as on my faith side of things, where I feel led and called to work and to relate and to fellowship with other people. My ministry and what I was designed to do in lifestyle coaching. The primary things that I focus on in my lifestyle coaching right now are in fitness and nutrition, and also addressing, identifying, and working through the process with my clients, areas, hurdles, obstacles, things that are getting in the way of people from achieving goals that otherwise would be very simple to achieve. And when I say simple, I don't mean simple as in easy. I just mean simple to do, simple not to do. Life in general is usually hard. And actually, I'll say this really quick. I can't remember who it was that I saw talking about this. If it was a post that I read or someone that was speaking about it, but they were saying effectively you can choose your heart in life. You know, being overweight and dealing with a lot of preventative diseases and having to be in and out of the doctors as a result of dealing with preventative diseases is hard. Preventative meaning there could have been things that you could have done to prevent the overweight, the heart condition, potentially the cancer in certain circumstances as well. That's a preventable disease. In certain cases, that's hard. That's a very difficult hard. There's the flip side, exercising, eating well, and maintaining those daily disciplines that would greatly reduce and maybe even eliminate in certain cases those preventable diseases, allowing you to have a life and lifestyle. More importantly, that's what we're talking about on this channel, that is full of quality, that allows you to be full of energy, peace and joy that you can pass on to those around you, families, friends, people who you work with, associate with. That daily discipline to have that kind of lifestyle is hard. Saving up or being very focused on your finances, learning all the finer details to how money really works, how credit really works, not based on the system that we think we're taught, but on the real truths behind finances and saving and credit and interest rates and all that stuff. It's hard. You got to learn about it, but there's information out there. Or you can just spend, or do whatever you feel is right and deal with the heavy heavy debt load in the future, or whatever it may be, the unfortunate circumstances of not managing money well. Also hard, right? So just a couple of quick analogies of what hard can be. Either way we go in life, either way we look, is going to be hard. There is no easy in life. And typically when you see something that looks easy, unless you personally are skilled at it, you're gifted at it, and you can make it flawless because that's just what you're gifted at, skilled at, you know how to do well. Usually, more times than not, even if it looks easy or it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There is some work required. And even in the context of like the things, for example, that I'm skilled at, like I know how to network really well. I know how to connect with just about anybody, just based on my experiences and talking with people. I don't necessarily go around telling them that. That's just my life experience. However, in that process, there are things that I still need to manage. I still need to work on. I still need to be mindful about. It is hard work. It requires my attention, my focus, and my what would I say? My effort to get better. Doing this requires all of the above. I may get on here and talk to you guys for 15 minutes every night, but there is still some effort, energy, focus, and detail required. So getting back to the actual topic at hand, the number on the scale is actually, in my opinion, absolutely bogus. It has very little, I wouldn't say zero, but it has very little stake in your overall health. And unfortunately, our country is fixated on it. The United States is where I'm talking to you guys from, specifically in the San Francisco Bay Area is where we're located. But unfortunately, our country is fixated on the number on the scale. And when you get to be a certain number or whatever, you could be easily shamed, guilted, guilt tripped into thinking that you're lesser than or you're not the best version of yourself or something along the lines, which is not cool at all, by the way. Just because you have a certain amount of weight on your body doesn't mean you're lesser than. It doesn't mean you're any less than who you believe yourself to be or who you're created to be. It means you have additional weight on your frame. It's very simple. If we can work on removing the emotions that are associated with the facts, although those emotions may be there, and I'm not saying they aren't valuable, what I'm saying is if we can start to disassociate the events or the details from the emotions and look at it objectively, but also understand that we're human beings, not human doings. That's something that's really stuck with me since I first heard it. A gentleman I've worked with, his name is Jeffrey Combs, has said it. I've heard it stated in church service before, different pastors speaking about it, and others. I can't tell you the number of people I've heard it said or whatever, but we focus on being human beings, meaning we have that emotional component, versus human doings, robots that just do. Regardless of the circumstances, situations, whatever. Ultimately, there's a lot of benefit there. But I'll say this, I'll get a firm but. Yes, it is not fun to be overweight. Yes, it is not fun to be made fun of, to be shamed, to be guilted, to be manipulated because your body or your health is in a certain space or place. That is not cool. I dealt with it as a kid. From the age of 6 until about 14, I was grossly overweight. I've shared with you guys on this channel many times, which people don't believe me. I find that kind of funny, but it's true. I was so fat, I couldn't literally see my toes when I looked down as a kid. Getting taller, learning how to work out, having to work out for high school football and basketball and track helped me lose that weight, build out some muscle. Also, just the idea of my dad said something to me about not being very strong in his chest. So I decided to focus a lot on my chest and doing press and all kinds of different exercises that we came up with in high school weights class. That is what helped me make that transition. And I've had, or transformation actually would probably be more appropriate. And I've had other transformations along the way when I came out of college after a lot of drinking at night for social parties and eating whatever I wanted or eating very poorly, very little snacks, like going downstairs to get a bag of hot Cheetos at 2 a.m. was a regular thing I did. There's nothing in a bag of hot Cheetos. They might taste good. There's nothing nutritionally valuable in them other than calories and a bunch of, very poor ingredients to put in your body. And you do that on a regular number of nights and days and weeks and compounded over time, plus a lot of stress, a lot of poor habits and everything else. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. It gets you into a state of health that's not the greatest. Well, I lost that 33 pounds, cleansing, doing all the great things that I did in those 8 months and had another, um, what I say, transformation. But again, getting back to the topic at hand, the numbers that are showing up on the scale, whether it's two numbers, if you're in that light category, or three, I don't think there's anybody walking the planet that's in four that I'm aware of. That's possibly impossible. I'm not sure, but three numbers, let's say you're over 100 pounds in weight or you're under 100 pounds, you're grossly underweight or grossly overweight or somewhere in between and dealing with not liking what you see when you step on the scale. I want to encourage you today and let you know that that number actually doesn't mean as much as you think it does. Now, the breakdown of the number actually has more meaning to it than the number itself, because you could step on a scale at 5'6", man or woman, and be 200 pounds. But what is that 200 pounds comprised of? Is it all body fat? Are you 100 pounds of fat? Or are you sitting at a nice, if you're a guy, a nice 12% body fat, which means 82% of that is lean mass, not all of it's muscle, but 12% for a guy is pretty excellent, which would translate to about roughly 15% for a woman. So if you're sitting at 200, 12% for a guy, 15% for a woman at 200 pounds, that 200 may not be that big of a deal, even at 5'6". Now, 5'6" is a little taller for a lady, a little bit on the shorter side for a guy, but just giving you guys some numbers, some quick things, and we'll work through this tomorrow more in detail. You guys will actually see me work the numbers and give you a few examples, including myself, as far as what truly makes BMI a bogus number. Unless you're over, a certain fat percentage, then it applies. We know that if you carry a certain number of fat pounds, specifically fat mass pounds, over your ideal weight, that is the precursor to some preventable diseases. Your body is more likely to be inflamed, which is the precursor to a lot of chronic diseases. Your body is probably experiencing more challenges with joints and being able to move around. Your energy correlatively is lower. You have less muscle mass, which translates to less strength, those kinds of things. And so, especially if you're in a deconditioned state, meaning you're not exercising, there are things that are associated with that particular body type, that particular health experience that you have. Again, are you a bad person for it? No. Do you have people in your life who are shaming or guilting you? Yes, that's unfortunate if so. And you should tell those people to take a back seat, because they probably have issues that they need to address themselves. And I say that in a loving way as a coach, because unfortunately, even getting to become adults, we still bully people. Bullying doesn't leave, unfortunately, bullying doesn't just magically go away when we leave elementary and junior high. Like, bullying still shows up, and it just shows up in more, I wouldn't even say sophisticated. It just shows up with new labels and new ways to kind of cover it up and act like it's not bullying. But I think adults bully other adults when it comes to their weight. And I have very clear examples. I have clients who have their spouses tell them that they are fat, or that they don't like that they have extra weight on them, because there's something going on with them that they don't realize. Maybe there's something that they want that is, well, let's not go there. Let's just say that I know bullying exists. I know people who call each other fat or other names, to try to get their way, to try to manipulate emotionally, mentally, and that is very poor. It's very unfortunate. And if you got someone you're dealing with, just know at this channel, you're going to have someone who's going to advocate for you, who's going to give you the education, the skills, and the systems required to find yourself in a space and place where you're in your ideal body, your goal body. Notice I didn't say weight there. Yes, we will talk about weight. That number is key because it helps us find things like our composition. And it helps give a better understanding of the full package. But when I talk about results, I talk about specifically, as I said yesterday, last evening, there are three things in the context of the body that I always tell my clients to focus on: how your body feels, how your body looks. Now, that has a lot more to do with just the body image itself, how you carry yourself, your posture, your strength. There's a lot that goes into that look category. And if it it really actually ties closely to how the body feels and how the body performs too. There's application there, and as I just said, the third one is how your body performs, and that doesn't necessarily have to mean in the case of you're an athlete or you're doing 100 burpees or 1,000 push-ups or something along the lines. Just you're able to feel comfortable in your body throughout the day. If you do exercise, you don't feel like a train just hits you after you get done working out, for example. So in that case being said, if you go step on the scale and you see a number, I encourage you to just say and think, all right, that's the number and that's it. Because our culture right now has really programmed us to think that certain numbers on the scale are bad. There's an association of wrong, there's an association of bad, negativity, this thought process. And unfortunately, if you feed yourself that thought process, that's what's going to grow. Your mental process is going to now turn into I'm bad. You're going to start to cultivate, potentially, these are different things that can happen. You're going to potentially start to cultivate a poor relationship with food, or surround yourself with, where did I see that yesterday? I thought it was really good. It had to do something more with body image, but I think it can apply to weight too. Spending time with people who are not preoccupied with their bodies can improve your own eating habits and body image. So that was from the University of Waterloo, which was in yesterday's video for their study that they did. I think that directly applies to how you look at yourself, how you consider what numbers on the scale, since it's so closely tied together, how you associate with your eating habits, your exercise habits, and it all of a sudden becomes no longer something of a simple task. I'm exercising for my benefit. I'm eating well to fuel my body for my day, for my exercise, for my learning. You need to make sure your brain is getting the proper nutrients and vitamins and water it needs to learn. Also, sleep is very important. Lack of sleep can have many detrimental impacts. So there's a whole package here. But ultimately, do please, 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 if there's anything that you can let go of, that you can release, that you can hopefully start to find some peace and joy, it's letting go of that bogus number that's on your scale. Yes, it does have some meaning, but application wise, it's going to do very little for you, especially if you're operating in a negative thought process around that number right now. There's so much more that I could get into, but I'll go ahead and leave it at that. As always, I appreciate you guys here on this channel, on my Instagram and on my YouTube. You guys can reach us at Instagram.com/elevateyourfresh. The same tag for Facebook, so Facebook.com/elevateyourfresh. And we're here on YouTube, YouTube.com/BIGRES. We had 3 new subscribers in the last week, so we appreciate you guys as we march our way on to 100 subscribers. Once we get there, we'll update our YouTube channel so that we have our Elevate Your Fresh as the part of the address for our channel as well, updated. So once we get there, we'll make that adjustment. Stay tuned. Make sure, if you haven't, I appreciate the like for today. Thank you. Please like this video. Please subscribe. I usually don't say this a lot, but for today's application, I'm actually having you do so for a particular reason. So you can get notified. You can even click the bell if you like so that you get the notification. But please subscribe, because we're going to have some content for you guys coming up. I'm going to actually work with some different companies to help me create this content. But I'm going to be giving you guys for 2021 5 steps to a healthier lifestyle, a how-to video, and 5 different things that you can do, very simple steps that you can do to start working your way towards cultivating a healthier lifestyle. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be some great content. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys, keeping it simple, keeping it fresh here on Project Fresh with myself, Ryan Sanders. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Have a great evening, and stay tuned for tomorrow, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same place, where we're going to go active. We're going to do an intensive. You guys are going to see the actual application of body image, weight, BMI, all done right in front of your face. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Peace.